How's it going, nerds? And before this video starts, I'd like to say something. So, I'm going to be changing how I do the voices for this, because I don't like having to keep doing voices over and over and over and over and over again. So, I'm just going to use my more sensual voice through the whole thing, and I'm going to see how that goes. I'd rather do that more than the voices I'm doing. So, if that's not appealing to you, I guess click off now, but if that voice is fine, then let's begin. How's it going, nerds? My name is Linkwood, and welcome to the 4th episode of SC2VN. In the last episode, we have things where the day is going to change tomorrow, which happens to be today. Let's get right into it. That is an introduction scene. Last 3 episodes were just filler beforehand. True to her word, Jet sent me a reminder to get over to Golden Zonefire for some morning practice. I enjoy playing online and all, but matching against someone only a few feet away is way more productive. Talking over games in person makes it easier to get feedback and improve, and that's what I need more than anything else. The sting from my failure at the VSL qualifier will take time to fade. I don't want to experience that pain ever again. I catch sight of a Jet in a middle row, her attention locked on a ladder game. Without disturbing her, I take a seat at her side and watch the match unfold. Furious taps and clicks rattle her keyboard. Her focus never drops from the game, much less her monitor. She's ahead, though not by much. It's not long until she extends her lead in the late game, and a few minutes later, heaves a sigh of relief when her opponent rage quits out. There's no need for me to consult my Korean skills to understand his final message. Zerg Imba. I'm not sure what that means, and I feel like I'm kinda scared to find out. You actually showed. Color me surprised. How could I not? The better question is, how you have the free time to practice with some amateur. I'm the charitable sort, obviously. Anyway, you're here, so let's stop wasting time. You've paid for your PC, yeah? I nod and log myself in the station next to hers. A minute later, the two of us are grinding out practice matches. That was pretty quick. How do you already sign in and log everything up? Huh, that's just pretty good computers. Game after game is a beatdown. Can't crack her defenses when I attack, and I'm barely holding on when she goes on offense. She's just as unforgiving at pointing out my mistakes as she is in-game. Your wall at the ramp is to your natural is trash. How the hell do you even get away with this? You're asking to get busted. It's not something I really think about that much. I just throw it up, you know? Fix it or be punished. That probably isn't an idle threat. Jazz is the type of player capable of ending the game instantly if she can capitalize on the right kind of mistake. Her style has been characterized as both passive and reactive. She takes her time and watches her opponents, patient for the right moment to strike. She only takes a risk if it's calculated in her favor. Given her former success, the style has suited her well. Though I can't help but wonder why she hasn't lately been performing at her previous level. Maybe she's lost her killer instinct. Maybe she's in the relationship with Axel, and then they're just like, "What up? You're so distracting me from winning. I'm gonna kill you, so I don't gotta be distracted by you anymore. Then I'll hang your face some. Oh, yep, that. No. Guess not. A reminder of the skill difference between us rushes up the ramp to my natural expansion and crushes my wall, as promised. In the aftermath of the destruction, she swarms my base and seizes an easy win. Jet revels in her victory with a predatory smile. Wrecked. Before we get into the next game, I catch sight of a familiar face coming into the cafe. Huh? Isn't that the same guy from last night? Hey, do you know who that is? I thumb in the stranger's direction as he passed by us, his attention occupied by a cell phone screen. Jet trails a look after him, wrinkles her nose, and shrugs. He's a KPGA player. Protoss. What about him? Come on, get into the game already. Seriously? He was at All Out Attack yesterday. What's he doing outside of his team house 2 days in a row? They're only figuratively chained to their desk. Not all of them are shut-ins. Stop wasting time and let's go. I double take away from Jet to find the player in question seated a few rows in front of us. And he's got the StarCraft 2 client open. Why would a KPGA player spend his practice time on anything but Brood War? Should I ask him for a game? I think I'm gonna ask him for a game. What? No, hold on, wait, you can't just... But before she can stop me, I rise and shuffle my way past row computers. Jet shoots me a withering glare over the top of her station before ducking back down. Even though I've barely interacted with the guy, I can't help but feel a little anxious as I edge closer to his PC. I mean, you don't know a guy and you're trying to talk to him. I don't know about you, but I suffer from critical anxiety, so I couldn't do that. Sure, he was a bit rude when we spoke, but the chance to challenge a KPGA pro is too good to pass up, especially if I'm trying to step up my game. He's about to jump into a match when I clear my throat right behind him. He suddenly alt-tabs and then turns to regard me through half-lidded eyes. Oh, that's how I always am. What? Excuse me, would you mind a practice game? No, I'm just here to... He pauses. Recognition flits across his face. You're the chick from All Out Attack yesterday, aren't you? For a moment, he looks ready to dismiss me and get to laddering, but the last second he nods. Alright. One game. With a final nod, I return to my station. A moment later, he and I share a game lobby and are just about ready to begin. He's playing on a barcode account. Typical. How have I still not managed to catch this guy's name? A sharp tap against my headphones announces Jet's return and displeasure. You're obnoxious. If you lose and embarrass me by association, I'm going to pretend I don't know you. Anything else Jet had to say is drowned out along with the sounds of Golden Zone Fire when I pull the earpad back on. He plays Protoss? I mean, that's all I know. Here's a water bottle. Oh yeah, oh the good sound. It's like an ASMR video right now. Sorry, I'm parched. Jeez, judging me all the time, internet. If the idea behind practicing against the good players to improve, I should probably play standard. Still, the temptation to all in is already there. How sick would it be to grab a quick win on a KPGA player? Well, we're gonna save it. Here. Okay. And let's go for an early attack, and if it doesn't work out, if we lose, I'm totally gonna go back and edit this out. Screw it. I'm not in the mood for macro. Which, if you don't know, there's these. I'll go through these one more time. Control of economic timings in the game's flow, though necessary for every player. Those that favor passive or defensive strategies tend to focus on macro. And there's these ones you can see right now. There's a video on YouTube explaining and reading every single one of these. I'll probably make one when I'm done with it, but until then, I placed 2 early barracks mid-map, just outside his scouting path. With luck, he won't see my strategy until it's coming at him. Heart pounds as I watch my marine count go. He still hasn't gotten my all-in. He's a huge advantage. Got this. I bring my Marines to his base and charge up the ramp leading to his high ground. I leave an SCV on the low ground to construct a bunker, just in case I have to fall back. He retreats with his lone zealot and begins to chrono boost something out of his gateway, likely a stalker. He still hasn't pulled his probes, so I started heading towards the mineral line. I just got played, didn't I? Shit, I preemptively pulled a handful of probes and hid them out of my vision. When my exit cut off, I won't be able to escape. Yep, I think I called this. Things get even worse when he gets his first stalker out. He might actually hold this. I do everything I can salvage this situation, but it's too late. A single Marine I managed to get into the bunker is useless at this point. From the low ground, I can't do any damage to his units. My attack was completely routed. Even though he didn't scout out the rush, he defended without breaking a sweat. I don't have long to sulk and defeat before the KPGA player makes his way over to me as a smirk. As promised, Jerry's nowhere to be seen. And we're gonna reload, forget any of this happened. Boop. Alright, so we're gonna play a standard game. Let's do that because it sounds about the right thing. We totally didn't try that and then redid it because we want to do everything right in this playthrough. It's probably best that I follow Jet's advice. I opt for a standard macro management game. This guy's build permitting. I take my natural expansion and begin teching up. The match progresses quietly with only a few brief skirmishes with his stalkers and my Marines. My scan shows that he's not doing anything out of the ordinary. One of us has to take a move sooner or later. I start constructing my starport and researching my bio upgrades. I'm surprised to find that they finished without any pressure coming from the Protoss army. It should be a good time to go for some drop play and try to snipe some of his critical tech buildings. If I were to play an aggressive drop style, I need to be confident in my control, and the fact that I can outplay him. On the other hand, this game has been exponentially quiet. If I could get up another expansion, I have a serious economic advantage going into the late game. We're gonna get save again. Let's save again to number 3, cause we already did it already. Let's risk an early third base. And cut Marines long enough to save up for a quick third base. Finishes before my first drop ship is even out. Alright, I think we made the right choice. Just as my expansion finishes constructing, a red blip shows up on my minimap. Is it a void ray? I have missile turrets to defend, so I should be fine. I know, it's floating on the outskirts of my base. A warp prism? He'll be able to warp his units into my base. My armor is completely out of position. He starts warping in just outside of my static defenses. Zealots rush into my base and tear my mineral line to pieces before I can move until units back to defend. He's at my natural too. He's got such a big army. I can't keep my units up with my economy crippled. And remember to do 10. I got planned better job scouting. Reloading. I think we're gonna get aggressive with dropships. Dropships play is a defining characteristic of a top Terran player. If I win with this, it's a good indication that I can stand toe-to-toe with the best players in Korea. It's time to put my practice to work. I gather enough units for an attack in my starport as the first dropship finishes. It's imperative he doesn't see me move out, so I make sure the watchtowers are clear and avoid places where Protoss players commonly leave their observers. My dropships are in the clear. I fly straight into his base. He's unprepared for the attack, and I unload all my units rush to snipe some important tech buildings. The damage to his infrastructure done. My units retreat to safety of my dropship. That set him back a ton. The game is going incredibly well, so I decided to pull back on my aggression. and build up an army for a final push. He's been too busy defending to get a decent standing army, and when I roll in with my amassed units, he kites back, bobbing, weaving away from my forces while delivering pot shots. He gave chase, the taste of victory tantalizingly close. I managed to corner his army and leaving him with nowhere to run. But just as I move in to deliver the final blow, he flanks me with half a dozen Templar, showering his army in high-damage storms. I pull back frantically, but my army is left in tatters. Now my hardest to gather enough units to mount a second offensive. I continue to crush my attacks with only a handful of well-upgraded and well-microed zealots, stalkers, and archons. How the hell does this happen? My lead is gone. Frustrated, I box on my workers and charge towards his base for a final attack. With my SCVs on the front lines, I should have enough power to take a direct engagement. I roll through his base, his fourth base, uncontested. Yes, he's giving up ground because he knows he can't face me. Emboldened. I don't know that word. I drive up a ramp leading to his natural to end the game. Comes up face to face with an ambush. My front line evaporates before I can issue the command to retreat. And crushes what remains of my army. A few moments later, I can't believe it. I lost. I stare blankly at the screen for almost 10 seconds before I finally type GG and quit out of the match. So, basically, with that red chose I was going to lose anyway. So I'm just going to keep all those in just so you can see the different options of what happened. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Huh? I'm a cool guy. I'm a great guy. You should love me. Ladies. Sexual harassment. ASMR water times. It's delicious and healthy for you. It's water. As long as it's not rum flint topical. I don't have long to sulk in my defeat before the KPGA player makes his way over to me with a smirk. As promised, Jet is nowhere to be seen. Hey, you actually know how to play. Wasn't expecting that I'd have to try. It's a compliment, regardless of how he said it. Though it's difficult to be graceful in this defeat, I tried my best anyway. I played my game the best I could. Kept vision on you, dropped when I could. But it wasn't enough. It sucks. It's one thing to lose carelessly, but it's another when everything goes as planned and you fail anyway. His grin darkens to one without humor. Is this guy serious? What the hell's your problem? You demand a game and whine when you get a little pushback? Look who's talking. Everyone knows your type, the foreigner out to make a name for herself. You fly out here on a whim and waste 6 weeks training. You're the first, and unfortunately won't be the last. Your plane ticket doesn't buy you a right to call yourself a pro gamer. Save your money and save your time. Save your money and your time and go back home. I feel the heat rise in my face. Half in anger and half in embarrassment. I'd never dealt well with confrontation. You and me both, lady. I feel you in that. Before I can say anything else, Tess steps out from the corner and cuts between the two of us. Would have like smacked his eyes out. Just like, but like his eyes would have like splattered against the wall, and then like it would become a decoration. Then would have licked them off, like my forked tongue. I'm in a morbid mood today. Jeez. He's still great at making friends, huh, Bolt? His name's Bolt. Like the dog. Bolt from Disney. The dog Bolt. That was bad a joke, I'm sorry. He glances between the two of us, surprised. After a moment's pause, the so-called Bolt sees his back, his smirk, and meets Jet with a step forward. Been a while, hasn't it? What's a supposed Star League champion doing with trash like this? Bolt looks past her and tilts his head towards me. I took a step towards him, but an open palm from Jet stops me from going any further. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. Jumping ship to a scene loaded with foreign money has its upsides, but it won't be long before you forget the dignity of a pro gamer. The dignity of a pro gamer, huh? You make it sound so distinguished. You've changed it for the worse, and you don't even realize it. How sad. Shouldn't be much longer until the KPGA finally accepts that there's no future in Brood War. You're smart enough to know what happens then. But hey, the scene could always use more casters. Whatever you say. For the record, what excuse did you give your coach for another day off? VIP is a little more lax than Shock T1. But I might want to borrow it someday. At that, Bolt scowls. Jet doesn't waste the opening and strikes again. Don't worry. What? Any dog saying? Your secret's safe with me. Run along now. I'm sure you've got coins of slip or something. That might be racist? I'm not sure what that means. The standoff lasts a moment longer before Bolt's let out a lazy shrug, instantly killing off the intensity in his expression. I got better things to do than offer voice to a mouthy chobo. Do what you want. He thumbs his nose at me and returns to his station without another word. And we'll see what happens next time in the next episode of SC2VN. And I hope you all have a great day. Know you're beautiful. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next video. I almost threw up there. Goodbye. Yep. I'm gonna go throw up now.